The upper ab curl is the foundation to so many Pilates exercises. It's also a common exercise to do incorrectly. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 3 mistakes that I commonly see and how to correct them. And when you can use the techniques that I teach you, you're going to find your Pilates exercises become much more efficient so that you have more control and balance in your body and you move much more efficiently and you just feel much better with more energy. So if that sounds good to you, then come pull up a mat. You got to do this next to me because when you can feel it in your own body, that's when you can create those neural pathways so the movement becomes much more natural for you. So, you ready to get started? Let's do this. Okay, so my 3 mistakes that I see. Here's the first one. So you see, I've tucked the pelvis with me. And when I tuck the pelvis, that means my lower body has taken over. Yes, I can come up higher probably, but everything is just sort of compressed in the middle. My lower body is taking over the muscle movement, so my abs aren't getting the deep work that they need. Here's the second one. So in this one, I have moved and pulled my upper body forward so that I am compressing into my neck. I am straining through my shoulders, and I am not using my abdominal muscles because I'm yanking everything forward. And now the third one. So I don't know if you saw that one, but what's happened is I've sort of just compressed my ribs and hips towards one another. So I've shortened the distance between my hips and ribs, and I've pooched my belly up. So then sort of everything is just pooching and shortening and compressing for me to lift my upper body. So in all 3 of those scenarios, I am compressing the spine and creating tension in my body. In Pilates, in each and every Pilates exercise, we are looking to decompress the spine to create length, okay? And we never want to tense up. So in order to do that, let's first talk about some quintessential Pilates principles. And the first one is breathing. So when you breathe, you want to use your whole lung. So usually in our everyday breathing, we only use a certain percentage of our lungs. So we want to stretch into those parts of our lungs that aren't used to expanding. So in order to do that, we got to get into the ribs. We have to really allow the ribs to open so they create space for those lungs. So take an inhale and really try to expand your ribs 360 degrees around. And really focus on getting into the lower lobes of your lungs. Really try to stretch them out. It might feel tight here, but the more you do it, the more they'll stretch. And then exhale, pull everything in. Okay, so that's your breath pattern. The second principle I want to talk about before we even move is your Pilates Scoop. So your Pilates Scoop, you're not moving bones in it, you're moving your muscles. So on that inhale, I want you to pull your belly in towards your spine, expand your ribs like you were doing, but you're pulling the belly into your spine, and you also want to pull the belly muscles away from your pelvis. So it's almost like you're pulling your belly in and pulling them up underneath your ribs and out your head. So in and then pull those muscles away from your pelvis. Okay? Your bones aren't moving. I'm not tucking anything to create that. It's all internal belly work. And then the neutral pelvis, that's your third principle. Your neutral pelvis is staying neutral. It's staying stabilized. You don't want to tuck, you don't want to arch that pelvis, but you do want the sensation of the pelvis working, the muscles around the pelvis. So we always want to create this like opposing energy because opposing energy is what gives us length. So if I'm pulling my belly muscles away from my pelvis, well, oppositionally, I need to pull my pelvis away from those ab muscles, okay? So you want to feel your pelvis, your butt bones, everything sort of pull away to your opposite wall. So, yes, that's a lot. But those are 3 really important principles. And now let's add the upper ab curl with those principles. So squeeze your legs together, find your neutral. Inhale, draw that belly in. Pull the belly away from your hips and your pelvis. as you expand those ribs even more. And then on your exhale, draw the belly in deeper, pull it away from the pelvis even more. And because of that pull in and away, you can lift the upper body from that belly movement, okay? My pelvis hasn't tucked, my pelvis is pulling away in opposition. Stay for an inhale as you deepen your abdominal scoop. You pull those ab muscles further away from your pelvis. Expand your lungs and ribs. And then on your exhale, lengthen your abs away from your pelvis as you take it down. You did not move the pelvis, right? That stays anchored and stable. Try it again. Inhale, deep abdominal scoop. Pull it in and up. Exhale, deepen the scoop. Pull the abs, lift them away from your hip bones as you pull the upper body up. And if I let go, I'm still lifting because it's my abs that are lifting me, not my shoulders or neck or arms. Stay for an inhale. We're trying to create more length in the front of our body as we inhale. So deepen the scoop. Pull the ab muscles further away from the pelvis from the abs. And then as you lower down, keep lengthening, keep lengthening, keep lengthening. Good. So if you're not ready for that and you feel your abdominal muscles were just not able to lift your upper body, you can, one, come up less. So you can take an inhale, exhale, and just sort of hover your head off the mat, and that will be enough to work the belly. And then as you start to develop, then you can start to come up higher. You can also take one hand and reach it down on the mat. You take an inhale, and then exhale, you can reach your arm, and then it just puts less pressure in the abs, so you can focus on your breath. You can focus on the deep belly scoop, the opposition of energy, your neutral pelvis, all that wonderful stuff. Squeeze your thighs, and then lower it down, okay? So I know I did a lot of talking there. These tutorials are hard to do when I don't have you in front of me, so I'm trying to use a lot of different words and really talk you through it. That's why I like you lying down next to me as I'm doing it. So hopefully you had some aha moments. It's very detailed, it's very minute and subtle, but those subtle differences really make a difference when you are doing your Pilates practice. So can you imagine? That's the foundation to so many of our abdominal exercises. So then you're gonna add bringing your legs up, moving your arms around, doing all that stuff with that upper ab curl. So get the upper ab curl, really master it, and then see what happens when you add all of those other fun stuff in our abdominal exercises throughout the Pilates practice. So if you can master the upper ab curl, you can master a lot of other exercises because it is the foundation to so many other exercises. But you can see when you can create that abdominal scoop as well as the length, instead of just scooping, right? That scooping creates that compression, but that scooping and lifting, wow, it creates a decompressing. So as I'm sitting here talking to you, I have a belly scoop in and up. I have a belly scoop in and up when I'm driving, when I'm walking, when I'm running, when I'm just sitting around talking to people. It's just always there. It's not like compressing deep and stressing. It's just a light engagement, and it helps keep my vertebrae sort of decompressed. And that's what I want for you, is that it just becomes sort of a natural everyday habit. But in order to create that, you got to practice it on the mat. And that's the purpose of these exercises. So hopefully they're helpful. So anyway, if this video was helpful for you, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to grow, and I would love to have you part of the community. I also have tons of online workouts that are at balancetothecore.com, and you can find out more there and come work with me. It'd be fun to work with you. All right, so anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.